Spencer, thanks for being with us. It's awesome to have you on the show. Let's talk about the month of May for you. What allowed you to be so locked in at the plate?
First of all, thanks for having me on. And yeah, I think the big thing for me was kind of some little adjustments I made. I struggled a little bit at the end of April, and looking at video, I just wasn't on time, and I was late all the time on a lot of pitches. So just making that adjustment of being on time and then being aggressive at strikes early in the count. I feel like I was falling behind a lot, so I'm just trying to stay aggressive on those strikes I was getting early.
All right, so you say that you needed to be faster to the ball, be more aggressive. It's one thing to be able to see what you're doing incorrectly when you're watching video or someone's telling you, but how do you make that adjustment within the game?
Yeah, that's something usually the hitting coach will help me out with. Bad first at bat, miss a pitch I feel like I should handle. Sometimes I'll go to the hitting coach and look at video with him, and we'll try to just find some cues that we always can go back to. The stuff I do in my routine work that's worked in the past and stuff like that.
All right, so you were drafted originally by the Twins in 2019 and then traded over to the Reds at the deadline last year. You had a beautiful debut in September of last season. What do you remember about that moment?
What I remember the most is how nervous I was before the game leading up to it. I feel like I was more nervous, leading up to the game, and then kind of once first pitch happened, standing at third base, kind of just realized, hey, this is still the same game. It's still baseball. So I feel like I settled in after that, and it was a pretty awesome debut. Definitely a kind of a blackout moment when I hit my home run, but had family there, so it was a pretty good day for me.
Yeah, a pretty good day is an understatement. 2 for 2, a double, a home run, a couple of walks, and 4 plate appearances. You guys end up beating the Rockies 3-2. You also scored the game-winning run on Jonathan India's walk-off single. No big deal. It's fine. It's just quite the debut. How much have you appreciated the game since that time, Spencer? Obviously still performing well, winning the awards, but also just learning how to be a big league player.
Yeah, I'm really just having just a lot of fun out here. We have a great group of guys. We got a young team, which is awesome. I think we're playing for each other, pulling for each other, and there's just a lot of genuine happiness around the clubhouse every day. And I think it's easy to come to the park every day when that's kind of the vibe going around in the clubhouse.
And also when you're winning, it makes it a lot more fun. When you're walking guys off,
absolutely.
It makes it a lot more fun too. What's the last 2 games been like for you guys? I mean, the Dodgers obviously a good team in the National League, a good team in Major League Baseball, and you guys are showing that you can compete with them.
Yeah, same thing. Just a lot of belief in the clubhouse. I think we know what we got with our team, and obviously the addition of Ellie coming up. He adds a different kind of energy to this team, and definitely the ballpark. There's a lot of fans coming out to see him in his debut a couple days ago, and gave him a nice little standing O for his first at bat. So, pumped to have that guy on our team for sure.
Yeah, no question about it. He reminds me a little bit in stature of O'Neal Cruz, obviously, with the Pirates and how tall he is and just all of the tools that he has. But when you look at Elly De La Cruz, he has patience at the plate. He's drawn the walks, and then I don't think his home run ball has landed yet. What have you seen from him in the short time he's been at the bigs?
I think the most impressive thing was his first at bat in his first game. I think he swung at a first pitch early and swung through it, and then ended up drawing a walk. It was a pretty hyped up debut, and that moment easily could have got too big for him, and he handled it so well, and especially how young he is. The poise he's played with these first couple games has been really impressive.
Yeah, you guys continue to fight your way back into games. I think of the Reds as resilient. You have so many come from behind wins. In fact, only the Orioles have more comeback wins than you guys do. How much faith does that give you in the club, knowing that you're never out of a game?
Yeah, it's a good feeling. If we fall behind early, there's no panic. It's here we go. Let's find a way to get at least one. put a number on a number. It's just a really good mindset and mentality we have going right now that it doesn't matter how many runs the other team scores, we're gonna score more than you, and that's truly the belief we have in that dugout right now, and it's just a lot of fun to be a part of.
I mean, it's obvious what you can do at the plate, or else you wouldn't be National League Rookie of the Month. But I think what is so important about what you can do, Spencer, is your versatility, being able to play all over the infield, all over the baseball field, really. How important is that in terms of what you bring to the table?
I think it's just important. It just gives me more opportunity to be in the lineup every night, whether that's in the outfield, at first base, third base. I just pride myself on being available to play every night, and to me it doesn't really matter where that spot is, as long as I can get in the lineup and try to help this team win. That's kind of my main goal, so just going to continue to show up and play where I'm asked.
All right, so last year you played in the Futures game at Dodger Stadium during the All-Star break, and conceivably you could very much be one of the Reds' participants in the All-Star game this year because of the season that you're having. Do you allow yourself to go there? Do you think about that?
No, I wouldn't say I think about that or go too far with that. I like to think, if I'm trying to help this team win and have good at-bats and just play winning baseball, I think the personal stats and rewards and all that kind of stuff will take care of itself. So don't really think about that stuff. Just think about, going for a sweep against the Dodgers and go from there.
All right, very good mentality there, but I have to say you could very well be in Seattle along Alexis Diaz. How good has he been for this club?
Unbelievable. We get a lead into the ninth inning, and we pretty much have that game wrapped up with that guy being at the back of our bullpen. Especially lately too. I feel like he's gotten even better, and just the uncomfortable swings you constantly see from hitters just really shows how nasty his stuff is. So just glad he's on my team. Would not want to have to face him.
No question about it. There's something special about those Diaz boys when it comes to the back end of the bullpen. I really appreciate your time. Best of luck today as you go for the sweep against Los Angeles. Continued success this year, Spencer. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thanks again.